podcast number 15. My name is Mallory, otherwise known as JustADoseOfLove all around the internet. So you can find me on Instagram, Reddit, Facebook, Ravelry, and Twitter under JustADoseOfLove, although I am most active on Instagram. My autofocus on my camera has been absolutely atrocious tonight, so the original intro didn't actually save focus, and that's why we are having this kind of recording setup. So for any returning viewers, you know, sometimes we have some technical issues here, and unfortunately we just kind of gotta move past it and try and do better next time and try and figure these issues out. And for any new viewers, this does happen once in a while. This is a podcast about knitting and crafting and whatever I happen to be doing generally at the moment. And I guess we're just gonna hop right into it. Thanks. Without any further ado, I am knitting up the Slip Stitch Lines pattern, and it's by the Mason de Saba. I don't know if that's like a magazine or a book or a publisher or a person. I am not sure. So this is just a sock pattern that I found on Ravelry. I cast it on Christmas Eve, of course, because it's my Christmas Eve cast on. Well, not this one. I cast the first one that I finished already on Christmas Eve. And I am using, I'll just tell you what I'm, no I won't, I'll just show it to you. Okay, so here it is. It's got these cute little slip stitch lines, of course, as the pattern suggests, all the way down the front of the sock. It's got pattern all the way around the leg. So I always do my socks with an afterthought heel, or most of the time I do my socks with an afterthought heel, so that's why there is no heel yet. So this is the cuff here. And I'm using What's Up Yarn Co.'s Autumn Path. It's a fingering weight, and I'm not sure if, I don't remember what the base was for this sock fingering weight, but here it is. It's got like these beautiful purples and greens and oranges, and I think it ties in really nice with the oranges and the browns and the yellows of the Serenity colorway. And that is by TurtlePurl. It's one of her self-striping colorways. It's got a little bit of the sparkly in it. It's the Serenity colorway. I'm sorry if I just repeated that. I'm a little frazzled today, but it's okay. So here it is. And I'm, basically just about at the toe here, knitting it up with my 2.5 mil Haya sharp circular needles. And it's so close. I went out for drinks last night with some of my friends, and I knew I was getting pretty close to the end of this sock, so I had to stop so I could come home and measure it against the one that I had already made. So that's where I'm at on my Christmas Eve cast on. I'm so excited. I'm so close to being done. It's going to be my first finished pair, not exactly of 2019, but it's going to be my first finished pair of 2019. Not that I cast them on in 2019, but it's okay. It'll be the first finished one. That's exciting. Okay, second work in progress. I have my Unnamed Hat, which I still haven't done any more progress on. So this next 2 weeks, that's when maybe I'll have it finished by next podcast, but I will definitely make some progress on it in the next 2 weeks. In case you want to see, I'm using some Addi interchangeable needles, 16-inch circulars for the hat. This is the, which is this? This is Immoral Fibre by Handmaiden. So it's a exclusive yarn to my local yarn shop, and this is the Mount Tabor colorway. And I really like the little cables that are hanging out in this hat, and I'm sad that I have not knit enough yet that you can see what they're going to shape up to look like, but you can kind of, you know, start to hint. It's starting to hint at what it's going to look like. I really hope that my camera's focusing and this is not just a big blur to you. I was having some focusing issues with it earlier, so really hoping I don't have to re-record this because it didn't focus. I remember last podcast, or maybe it was one of the Vlogmas videos, I cut it at the 20-minute mark, started the recording again, because my camera stops at 20 minutes, not sure why, it's just a thing that it does, and then 3 full minutes of my next recording I couldn't use them because I was just this talking blob, and that was terrible. So hopefully my camera's smartening up and we're not having that issue again. Now, surprisingly, I have done five squares on my Coziest memory blanket. So this is the Coziest memory blanket pattern by Kemper Wray. And I believe it was a free pattern on Ravelry. So one of my goals for this year was to knit 52 squares on my Coziest memory blanket this year because I didn't do much on it last year at all. So this is all last year, right up to here. This one I finished last year. This, ooh, there's 6 squares. Haha, 7? Oh my gosh, look at me. I'm a knitting bandit. Oh my. Okay, so I have done 7 squares on my Coziest memory blanket this last 2 weeks. There's one. This was a yarn that I dyed up for Miss Melinda over at Rye Flower Knits for the mini stockings that we made last year for Christmas. Oh man, I can't remember. I'm not going to remember who most of these yarns are. But this one, Miss Melinda had made knit up some socks and given me the scraps for my blanket. This is again the Autumn Path colorway by What's Up Yarn Co. This one is just a yellow, and honestly, Melinda gave it to me for our first shawl project, our friendship shawl that we knit together. She knit one, I knit the other one, and there was this cute yellow and like a turquoise and a cream that went into that shawl. So that's what that is. This, I knit up some socks for myself this year. This is Biscotti Yarns. It's one of their self-striping. It's so soft. This one was part of, oh, and the little cat charm. I hope that you can see that, but it's the cutest little cat charm that's a progress keeper. And you really have to know which side is your right side and your wrong side with this blanket because it's hard to tell. So my little cat has been hanging out with me while I have been knitting along, apparently. Anyways, this is a Madeline Tosh, and I think it's the citrus colorway. Ooh, I could be wrong. Or like sunset. Anyways, it went into a shawl that I knit. It was one of the skeins that I bought in Florida. And that was the snow melt shawl, I believe. Yeah. Oh man, need a sneeze. Excuse me. Okay. And then this last square that I just knit up was leftovers from the grandpa socks that I made this Christmas. Oh god, I gotta sneeze again. Oh, oh, I'm so sorry. Usually I don't sneeze more than twice in a row, so we'll see. Anyways, here was, this was part of the leftovers from the grandpa socks that I made my grandpa this year for Christmas. So I've done pretty well this last 2 weeks on my Coziest memory blanket. I'm rather proud of myself. I'm just going to have to weave in these ends because it's going to drive me nuts. Ugh, I shouldn't keep doing this in front of you anyways. Let's see if, yeah, all those ends. I'm going to have to weave those in because they are going to drive me insane. Absolutely insane. And I'm trying to do it kind of like in a rainbow type pattern, so my purples and then my greens and my oranges, and I'll finish up with some reds over on this end. We'll see how that goes. I have never made a full blanket before. Actually, this is probably the farthest I've gone on making a blanket before, knitted, of course. I quilt as well, so I have made blankets before. I'm rambling, sorry. I'm just gonna, yeah, okay. Stop rambling. We're fine. No more sneezing. I wonder why we're sneezing. It's obnoxious. Okay. Recentered, refocused. We're focused again. Sorry. What's off my needles? So I did get to tell you that my first Christmas Eve cast-on sock is finished. And here it is. Isn't it cute? Oh, it's super cute. So you can see the slip stitches up the front. And that gorgeous contrasting heels, toes, and cuffs. I'm super excited with these socks. They are not Christmassy colored at all, but I really like how they turned out. I am a fan of oranges and browns and reds and greens, earthy tones mostly, and red, of course, which is not so much an earthy tone, but this sock is basically an amalgamation of all of my favorite colors. There we go. Plus the sparkly. I mean, who doesn't like a little bit of sparkle on their socks? Oh, this isn't quite on right. I do have pretty short feet, I guess. So it's a little small on my sock blocker. My mom bought me some boots for Christmas, and I guess my feet are a size 6.5. I buy shoes so rarely that I honestly don't know what size my shoes are. Apparently they're 6.5, which is smaller than I thought. Maybe it's a shoe size, maybe it's just my feet, I'm not sure. Yes, there we go. Okay, and coffee break. So we've never been in this location in my house before. This is my room. I've got these little strings of lights hanging around, and you can't see up top, but up top I have some fabric that, however, depending on how this goes, I think I may move my podcasting spot to here because I do really like my fairy lights and I do really like my bedroom. I've got my beautiful orange walls and it's like some random paintings around, and of course my fairy lights, and it's just kind of like my zone. So, and this way I don't have to kick anyone else out of any other part of the house. This is my room, so I don't have to kick anyone out. It's great, and then I don't have to worry about noise. I think this is going to work out. I've been talking a lot. Ooh, my voice is starting to get a little croaky already. I'm drinking a little bit of coffee tonight. Let's see, Maxwell House blend, I think, or medium, whatever, I'm not sure. It's just Keurig coffee and some creamer, and it's really good, although I'm regretting not drinking something a little cooler right now. It is really hot in my bedroom. I'm not sure why, but there are 2 heat vents in my room, and it's excessive. My room is probably the hottest room in the house, and I am sure this vent is mostly closed, actually, and it's still really, really hot in here. So I may grab some water or cranberry juice or something at our 20-minute break when I pause it. Okay, rambling again, sorry about that. Upcoming. I'm actually going to skip to, no, I'm going to stay on upcoming because we have 4 minutes left until the 20-minute break. Cut where my camera stops recording. Okay. Upcoming. I'm doing a call for test knitters for a sock pattern that I had designed a while ago and just hadn't gotten around to publishing yet. And the name is still to be determined. So if you have any ideas, feel free to let me know. I'm not very creative when it comes to names, but I've just been referring to it as my Ivy sock pattern, and that's not what I want to stick with. So here it is. It's got these little cables up one side, and then like these cascading leaves down the other side, and I should have grabbed the other one, but the left and right foot, they actually alternate. So on the other sock, the cables are on this side and the leaves are on the inside, so they mirror each other. So call for test knitters, that's going to go out tomorrow, that's January 13th. It will be a 2-week testing period starting, let's go probably Wednesday, just so I know that everything's totally 100% with the pattern, or as close as it can be to 100% before I send it out to testers. So if you are interested in testing out this sock pattern, please let me know. I will be putting something out on Instagram, and you can just feel free to send me a message there or send me an email. I will have my email down in the comments below, or not in the comments, in the show notes below, so feel free to send me a message there as well. So I started the tea leaf sweater last year with Melinda, and I haven't worked on it in a very long time. I'm not really a fan of how it was turning out, and I'm not sure if I would wear it as much as I'd like to for a sweater that I have knit myself. So I took some time to think about it, and I've decided to frog that sweater in favor of starting the Ease sweater by Alicia Plummer. If you've seen it anywhere on the internet, it's a super cute sweater. It's kind of like it's kind of fitted but still loose enough that it's comfortable, and it's got one of the tube necks that can be adapted to a shorter, like not having a collar. And I think I'm going to do it with the collar, but I am really excited to start that one. I think it'll be absolutely gorgeous when it's done, and I will definitely wear it often. I'm a fan of hoodies, sweaters, looser things, but not so much, ironic that I say it, I'm not so much a fan of hoodies that zip up, even though I'm wearing one today, just because they are a little bit cooler, and I just like to be warm all the time. I'm a little bit of a heat lover. For someone who hates the summer, actually, I really enjoy being warm. I just don't like being hot like summer. I'm a winter person because then you get to snuggle up in all your clothes and your blankets and just be like cozy and warm under the blankets, and it's just like one of the best feelings ever. Feel free to, we can agree to disagree on that. I know most people do not share the same opinion about disliking summer so much, but I figure if you live in Canada, you may as well enjoy the winter, because that's kind of what we live in all the time. So that's my take on that. I have decided to add to my 2019 goals that I would like my Ravelry to be up to date, which is going to be an absolute monster of a task to take on. Oh, we're at the 20-minute mark. Yes, there's more! Oh my gosh. Okay, so this one I'm really excited about. I have joined the great podcaster Craft Together. It is the brainchild of I'm sorry if I'm looking down, that's because my notes, that's where my notes are. Anyways, it is the brainchild of Silver Luna 2112 on Ravelry. I had been watching her podcast, which is the Silver's Dream Lab podcast, where she had talked about it, and basically what it is, I'm including her YouTube Q&A link down below in the show notes, as well as the Ravelry introduction thread if you're interested in joining. And I know I'm just skipping ahead of myself here, but basically what it is it's a year-long craft together, and if you want to join, the only thing that you need to do to be eligible is to listen to a podcast. So if you are interested and you are watching this right now, you can join into this great podcast or craft together if you would like. And the whole aim of this is to finish some whips. I guess she was saying that she has something like 30 works in progress on the go right now. I thought I was bad with like 4 or 5 or 6. I don't know. I need to go through this myself. But if you also struggle with this problem, it might be something you're interested in joining. And I'll just go through some of the rules really quick. So you must be a member of the Ravelry group. your project must use, what is that, at least 10 yards of yarn. So that's actually not huge. That's not a huge amount of yarn. Individual socks do count until you finish the pair, and then it just counts as one pair. So one finished sock counts as one finished sock and its pair. Now the pair counts as one. So you can't count that twice. Any project that you finish in 2019 counts. So if it is not a Ravelry craft, like scrapbooking, Christmas baking, sewing, needlepoint, that sort of things, you can still enter them as long as you put up photos in the Ravelry group. Before and after photos. So holiday baking, I guess you can't really have before pictures of that unless you want to take like pictures of all of your ingredients. That could work. But these projects do count, so if you like to make project bags, that sort of thing, they totally count. I would absolutely throw those in there. Double dipping, poly dipping into other groups, absolutely allowed. It's just kind of like, this whole thing is to encourage to finish works in progress this year. They do have to be cast on between January 1st and December 31st, so it has to be a 2019 project, start to finish. And scrappy blankets, because that was a question that I guess came up a few times. If you are working on some sort of scrappy blanket, like my Coziest memory blanket, for example, 3 squares will count as one finished object. So if you finish 3 squares, you can put that in to the group to be entered for a prize. And there are quite a few prizes. I can't remember what the draw schedule is, but I think this stuff is always just kind of neat to get into, just for the camaraderie and the, you know, the community and the talk and just getting to know people a little bit better. So I'm going to try really hard this year to be involved in that. And I'd like to invite you to join me if it sounds like it's something that would be up your alley or that you'd enjoy. And that's it. That's it for upcoming. Wow, that was a long list. And actually, just excuse me while I drink from my sippy cup. It's really embarrassing, actually, the amount of time that I miss my mouth when I'm drinking water. So I have a sippy cup because, yeah, I often tip the glass back farther than I should, and my mouth is not as big as I think it is, apparently. And I usually end up spilling all over myself, so that's embarrassing. I'd rather not do that on camera. Stash enhancement. So my camera was doing that thing again. Okay. I did get... Oh, that's not what I want. I was given a... gift card to River City Yarns, which is my local yarn store, this year for Christmas. And I had walked in looking for some interchangeable Addi needles. And I ended up finding this Earth brand hand-dyed sock yarn, and it's a self-striping. It's on the unique sock base, and I just think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I hope you can see it. What it is, it's 220 yard 50 gram balls of self-striping sock yarn, and they're identical, so you can knit your socks, 2 different socks, and they will, well, you can knit 2 socks that will stripe identically, and that's the way it turns out. This is color number 52, which I hate color names when they're numbers, but on the plus side, I never butcher the name, ever. So this is color number 52, and I am super excited because I think it's absolutely gorgeous. My only, it's not even a qualm, it's a me problem. My only problem is that the self-striping sock that they have here, that is so long, and my calves are much bigger than this, and I don't wear long socks very well just because my calves are larger, so they don't socks are not comfortable for me when they're up higher than my ankles or just above my ankles. So this is probably going to end up being 2 pairs of socks for me, which I'm not complaining about. That is absolutely wonderful as it is. I'm going to end up having 2 pairs of socks out of this that are both beautiful self-striping, and yeah, I think they're absolutely gorgeous. So here it is again. Just the color, the way the colors go on these self-striping is, I am so in love with it. I'm so excited to see how it knits up. And by the way, I did add it to my Ravelry stash already, so yay! I'm gonna start doing that more. Alright. Okay, so that is all the yarn that I got. I did, however, accidentally buy myself a book when I was in the bookstore the other day. I say accidentally because I didn't go in for something for myself. I was looking for something for someone else, and I walked out with this and nothing for them. It's kind of the story of my life when it comes for shopping. Hey, I gotta work on that, it's a problem. Anyways, it is the 250 Japanese Knitting Stitches by Hitomi Shida, and that is the author of the Japanese Stitch Bible. And I'm gonna hold it like this, so hopefully it's not too glary and you can see. And I was flipping through it because they also did have the Japanese Stitch Bible. And it's got some amazing patterns in there. Stitches, I guess. Stitch motifs, I'm not sure what you would call them, but absolutely incredible, and I can't wait to try and incorporate them into some designs. I am so excited. I am so excited. Like, this lady is absolutely incredible, and just some of the stitches that she has in here, they are blowing my mind. They're gorgeous. Even Connor said they're gorgeous, and Connor doesn't knit, so that should speak to itself. Of course, Connor does hear me talk about knitting all the time, but, yeah, I digress. So I got myself that. And then I bought myself some needles. I have been meaning to buy myself a couple of interchangeable needles for fingering weight hats, because I only have a 3.5 and a 4, or a US 4 and US 6, so whatever that is in millimeters, and I cannot remember the other sizes off the top of my head. I'm just remembering the US sizes. So that was actually originally what I was in River City Yarns for when I picked up the unique sock, but I was looking for Addi's, and I guess Addi doesn't actually make interchangeable tips that small, is what they told me. So I went to the other yarn store just to kind of, check it out, see what was there, because I know they have a bigger needle selection. And I found these twist red lace interchangeable needles. And there's nothing in this one because I have put it together already, but I got myself an 8-inch cord and 2 sets of tips, so they're both 4-inch tips, and I got a US 1.5, which is 2.5 mils, and then these US 2.5, which is 3 mil. And I already have the 2.5 mil on the cord, and I'm really excited. There's almost no joint, so I'm hoping nothing's going to get caught. I am really excited to try them out, and I think I'm going to try the sockhead hat pattern just to kind of get the feel of it and get the hang of what I'm doing, because I haven't made any fingering weight hats yet. That's really exciting. Ooh, let's put that over there, don't want to lose it. Okay. And then I came home last week to a mystery magic package on the deck, and I have no idea who this package was from, but it was a Knit Picks box, and it was magic, and I'm going to show you what was in it, because, wow, I don't even know what to say. But there's this cute little bag. It's got knitting pattern on the inside. Not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I think it might be some of my notions. So I need to organize that a little better. Or maybe my smaller circular needles. Anyways, there's also this bag, which holds a whole lot of wonderful stuff, like interchangeable needle tips. Wow. And let's see, these are the Knit Picks brand, and I don't remember what type they are, but these are the laminated wood. I have some of these super colorful laminated wood ones already, so that's actually neat because they'll work with the cords that came with this as well. And they range from the size 14, which is 8 mil, all the way down to, what are you? 4.5 mil, which is a US 4. And that's incredible. Honestly, I don't even know what to say. It's so exciting. I'm just like absolutely flabbergasted in Florida. I don't know what to say. And then there was a bunch of cords, so for the needles, different sizes, and these will be perfect for the ease sweater actually, or any very large shawls that I plan on making this year. There's a needle sizer and a gauge ruler. That's good because somehow I always lose my needle sizers, and the sizing usually rubs off on my needles, so then I have no idea what size my needles are. A cute little box that says "Live the Whip Life." It's going to be glary, hopefully not. Okay, well, maybe you can see it. And in there's this cute little pin that says "Handmade is Love." There's some tapestry needles. There are some needle ends, or the cord ends. So for my interchangeable needles, if I need the needle tips for another project, I can take the cord and I can pop the ends on and put that project on hold. There are locking stitch markers, regular stitch markers, and a cute little measuring tape because I always need more of these. I can't open it. It's a little stiff. I haven't even tried yet. Oh, it's probably still stuck. Okay. I'm not going to force it, and I'm just going to try that later when I am not recording. Ah, nope, there it goes. Okay. Yes. I don't know about you guys, but I always feel like I'm not exactly sure what the name of what the feeling is actually though. But when I'm in public and I'm knitting socks and I take out my measuring tape and I'm like, "Wah! Measure, see how long it is," and I'm like, "Whoosh. Yeah, that's right. I have a measuring tape in my purse. What do you have?" Yeah, so pulling out my measuring tape and it's like, I have a measuring tape. And, oh, you need a pen? I have a pen. You need some paper? I have some paper. Scissors? Got that too. Like, I just feel so well prepared when I have my knitting bag around with me, and it's a little bit ridiculous because I am super well prepared for the random times that someone needs scissors or a pen or a measuring tape of all things. But the rest of the time is just like, why do you have that? Because I knit. I always have it. That's just why. Yeah, it's a little ridiculous, but it's just one of my secret joys when I'm knitting. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I thank you so much for joining me tonight with this podcast. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys did too. If you would like to be notified of future podcast episodes, please feel free to subscribe. I try and put podcasts out on Fridays, every second Friday. Although today is Saturday, I know that I am late going into the new year already, and that sucks. But I did make that decision based on one of my friends being in town from Vancouver, not for very long, and there was a couple of us getting together yesterday, so it was not a normal circumstance. Normally I will have it out on Fridays. Kimiko, in her podcast, the Knitspired podcast, had mentioned something that really struck home to me, and it was, when you're podcasting and you may have it out on like a specific day, and then you don't, it's kind of like standing someone up for coffee. like standing a friend up for coffee, and that's not what I want to do. That just kind of puts it in a little bit of perspective for me personally, because I am really bad at putting things out consistently on Friday. Usually, well, not usually, but a good percentage of the time it is a day or two late, and I feel terrible about that. So I'm going to make a very solid effort to have things out on every second Friday like I plan to, or put something out ahead of time saying it'll be a day or two late, just, you know, to kind of give myself some accountability. I think that's really important. That was a bit of a ramble. Sorry about that. Anyways, yes. I'm going to cut it here. I hope you guys had an absolutely wonderful Saturday. I hope you had a good time. I hope you have a great night tonight, and a wonderful 2 weeks ahead of you until we chat again. So I will see you then.